joining me again. So let's start our Sunday off. If you're watching this on Sunday, if you're watching another day, let's start your day off with a nice check-in of 1 to 10, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. How you feeling today? And give yourself a little time to think about it. Pause the video if you need longer. Okay, so today I'm feeling probably about a 6. I was like, just woke up really tired. You guys ever feel that way? Like you have no reason to be tired, but you wake up and you feel tired? Well, that was me this morning. Anyways, we're going to talk about a new kind of break. I hope you guys enjoyed movement breaks yesterday and you took some movement breaks when you need to. And let me know what kind of movement breaks you really enjoyed. Sorry, there's just some bug just flew right in front of me. It's really small. I don't even know if you guys saw it, but distractions. Okay, so today we're going to talk about sensory breaks. Now, there's probably a lot of people that lump a lot of things into a sensory break. Like some people talk about running or dancing or exercising, but for me, how I like to separate it is that is a movement break. That's when I need like that big movement, where a sensory break for me, and now this is not everybody, this is just for me and maybe for you too. A sensory break, it involves my 5 senses and it's really focused on my body and how my body's feeling. So it kind of overlaps with movement, but not in the way we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some sensory breaks that don't involve big movement that you can do kind of easily. So first off, we have to think about what our 5 senses are. I'm going to give you a moment. Do you know what your 5 senses are? I'll give you just a moment to try to list them. There's 5. Did you get them? Did you get some of them? So our 5 senses, I always like to start on my face at the top to the bottom so I can remember. So my first one is my eyes, my sense of sight. Okay, my next one is my nose, and that's my sense of smell. Then I'm going to go over here to my ears, which is my sense of hearing. Then I'll go down to my mouth. That's my sense of taste. And then the last one is way over here. That's my hands, and it's my sense of touch. So when I am talking about a sensory break for my classroom and for these videos, I am talking about one of those 5 senses is off. Something doesn't feel right. One of them doesn't feel right. And the break that you're going to take depends on which of the 5 senses feels off. And then you have to have some self-awareness. You have to know what is off about that sense, because not everybody is the same. Some people like a lot of bright lights. Some people don't. They want it dark all the time. So that's a little bit of self-reflection, self-awareness you're going to have to do so that you are able to figure out how best to support your sensory needs. But I'll give you some suggestions, and then, you decide. And then let me know what works best for you. So first up, we're going to talk about our eyes, and that is our sight. So there's a lot of different ways your sight could be off. You could be somebody who gets overwhelmed or their sensory gets too much when there's a lot of activity going on. Like, not that we're doing this now, but like if you're somebody who avoids crowds, you probably don't mind this whole distancing. So if you're somebody who avoids crowds, you probably avoid things like the mall or concerts, maybe the movie theater, because it's just too much. Just relaxing in a dark room. So if that's the case for you, your sensory break might be moving yourself all alone. Now, your sensory break could be different if you are somebody who really thrives or really enjoys a lot of activity and a lot of movement. So sitting at home, not doing much, not getting out, not seeing new things all the time, that can really put your sense of sight off, okay? So you're gonna need to figure out ways that you can get a lot of activity. So this one's a little tough right now, honestly. And I'm the first type of person. I don't like a lot of movement and a lot of activity going on. So I can only make a few suggestions, but honestly, you guys are gonna have to help me out with this if you're one of those people, of how you can do that when we're at home social distancing. I mean, my thought would be maybe if you have multiple people at your house and you could be just around a lot, you could maybe have different things happening, you know. And I know we normally don't talk about like a lot of screen time is a good thing, but if you're somebody who needs a lot of eye sensory input for this, you might actually want to have multiple screens happening at once. You might want to mute all of them just so you have that visual input that you are desperately needing. So you might have a computer going with skyscrapers or, you know, something visual that doesn't really involve any thinking. You're not like watching a plot or anything. And then you might have a game playing in one area. I don't know, you're just trying to get all that sensory input. So that's your first one, that's your sight. Next one we're going to talk about going down our head is our sense of smell. Okay, so this one, I think most people, when their sensory is off, it's probably because they smell something bad. That would be the number one thing. So what is bad for you might not be bad for someone else, but I think we can all agree that that is the number one sensory being off when we talk about smell. So some things you can do, air fresheners. You really gotta know yourself, because I like floral scents, but other people don't. I love fall smells, but ask my sister, she hates them. Hates them, hates them, hates them. So you really have to have that self-awareness of something doesn't smell right, but what is gonna make it smell right? Could be that. Next up, let's move to our ears. Ears are similar to our sight. There's really two main things I can think of that would be off with your sense of hearing. For some people, a lot of noise is a good thing. For other people, like me, quiet is better. They don't really like a lot of noise. Or like, I don't know if this bothers anybody else, but it bothers me. Like really soft sounds bother me almost more than bigger sounds. Like in my classroom, back when I had a like big full classroom and I wasn't doing small group, my class would be loud. I'm a loud person. My class would be loud and I enjoyed it. To me, that just meant we were having fun and learning. But I know for some people that is too much. It's too overwhelming. So that's why in my class, our solution, we had noise canceling headphones that were available. Because if you were somebody who needed to muffle some of that background noise, those work great. Now we're at home right now. You may not be able to get some noise canceling headphones, but you know, just regular headphones work. Or, you know, push comes to shove, this works too. Okay. And you know what? That's honestly, if you know, you're at home with adults and you're having trouble telling them that this noise is bothering you, because you guys might all be trapped at home and your brothers and sisters are making noise or the dogs are barking and all of that. The great thing is if you put your hands on your ears without having to say anything, that tells all the adults that it's too noisy. And then they can try to figure out how to help. Okay? So that is one kind. If you are the person that likes a lot of noise, I suggest, if you can, because I know you have other people living at your house too, and they might not like a lot of noise. So You got to find that balance, kind of like what we did in the classroom, where not everybody likes noise. So we had things to change and to control our senses. But if you're like me and you don't have other people you have to worry about, then you can play music super, super loud. It's up to you. Or maybe you want to have the TV going in one room and music playing in another. And maybe not lyrics, guys. That's going to be the thing. Like if you have a bunch of words coming, that can be like way too much because your brain's also trying to process all the words that you're hearing. So when I'm talking about sounds, I'm talking about like instrumentals. Or, you know, out there's apps that are just like background noise, like kitchen noises. If you work in a kitchen, or like noises at the zoo. You don't have to have it completely quiet. You can still explore a wonderful world of sound still being at home. Okay, so we've got eyes, nose, ears, taste. This one's going to be kind of quick and easy, honestly. When you're taking a sensory break, sour things can be really nice. It can perk up your brain. I don't really like Granny Smith apples, but that's a really healthy tart taste that can help perk up your brain if you need to take a sensory break. And you know what? Also, sensory might be that your stomach hurts and you need to eat something or drink water. Because if your body's off, then you're off. Okay, and our last one, the last one we're going to talk about is going to be our touch, our sense of touch. And there's a lot of different things you can do for your sense of touch because there's a lot of things we can touch. But right now, we do have to be really careful about what we touch, right? So that's why a lot of these sensory breaks, we're having to adapt and we're having to change based off of our circumstance. So one of the things that I really like with my sense of touch, I like wearing like sweaters and cardigans a lot, even when it's not cold, because I like to be able to like do this. That's my sense of touch. And then I can do this, even though I'm not cold. I might also like to wrap up in a blanket. And so does Elliot. No, he really doesn't, but I can pretend. So that can be a really great thing. And then also hugging things. If your parents are around or if other adults are around that you're living with, you guys can hug. But if not, you can hug a pillow. I got a pillow right here. Sense of touch. It may not be as good as hugging up somebody that you care about, but it still gives you that same feeling. So guys, that's where we're going to stop today. So my lesson, my homework for you today is to figure out, what are your senses? Take some time, think about it. Notice at home, when it gets really loud, do you feel better or do you feel worse? You just feel wrong. When there's really bright lights, do you want to just hide out in a dark room? Figure it out. Because this is one of those things I can't answer for you. You got to answer for yourself. Okay, guys, when you're ready, get your hand up for our sense of air touch. 3, 2, 1. Bye, guys. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow.